Remember, whatever you need, God is in the business to supply it. But do we believe that? And lastly, point 4 is, we should be thankful that God promises to sustain us. One thing about Christianity, once you make that commitment, it's just not a one-shot deal. The Lord will lead you every step of the way. He says, I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. And I think of somebody smiting somebody with their hand. The Lord, like a little child, will hold them by the hand, like a loving parent. You wouldn't let a child walk down the street alone. You wouldn't let a child walk halfway to a crosswalk and leave them there and say, do it on your own, grow up. You wouldn't do that. You're going to stay there with that child and help them every step of the way. Matthew 28, verse 20 tells us, and though I am with you always, even to the end of the age. There's a song I haven't heard in many years that goes like this. I forget the words. It's maybe over 20 years ago. But it says basically this. He hasn't brought us this far to let us go. And I really believe that. God doesn't have to do something. When God gives you a calling or something to do, He provides for it. I like to think when I sold my house in Olathe, Kansas, and moved north to Dayton, Ohio, and prepared for seminary, that the Lord had already gone ahead of me and worked all that out. Just at the right time. God's timing is always perfect. When we moved to the Dayton area, we had signed a contract on a house to buy. We had our house, kind of sold. It was sold, actually. They just had they paid a month's rent, and the deal went through. But that did happen. But just before I had a U-Haul truck all packed, I got a phone call. The last call in that house where I walked out the door. And they told me that the deal fell through. It had taken too long. The people sold were going to sell the house to somebody else. So I'm standing by the phone. My wife said, was that a bad phone call? I go, yeah, we don't have a house. Well, what are we going to do? We don't have a house here, and we don't have a house there. And I said, well, the truck's packed. The little kid said, Dad, everything all right? It's fine, boys. Everything is great. They didn't know. She said, what are we going to do? I said, we're going to drive east. I can't stay here. So I called a friend, and he said, you can stay for 3 days. Well, that takes care of 3 days. You can find another house in 3 days. Good luck on that one. So in a nearby church, a fellow I've been to seminary with, I took a class in Kansas City one semester. We got to be friends. He was serving a church in the next town over. And I didn't realize that until just a week before I left. So we talked on the phone. He said, I can help you out. So we got there. I said, I want to go to Tom's church and see if they can help me out. And I asked for him, and I said, is Tom Webb here? She said, oh, our associate pastor. No, he's gone for the summer. I went, what? She said, he's going for the summer. I said, oh, no. She said, you're Pastor Ralph, aren't you? I said, well, I assume we'll be a seminary student. She said, oh, yeah. Tom said there was, in case something went wrong with your house, which he said does happen, anything went, or you couldn't get into it right away, here's the keys for his house. He cleaned out his garage. You can stay there for 2 months. And that worked out. Next thing you know, we went to a realtor that somebody in this church recommended, and that church even helped us move. Now, is that just a coincidence? You see, God knew up the road what we would face. And I learned something through that whole experience. I'd like to tell you that as we traveled from Kansas City to Ohio, I was in up spirits all the time, cheering my wife and children on. No, I wasn't. My wife said on the way out, you were quiet a lot. I said I was quiet. I was worried. I had 2 kids. I want to go to a seminary. I promised of starting a new church. We had a plant church we're going to put in. And I had any place to stay. And I was going to start a church. This situation looked really bad. But the point is this. God promises. The God that leads you will not let you go. Think back of all the heroes of the Bible. He didn't bring us this far to let us go. So you can see, Christians, we have a lot to be thankful for. Let me once again close by reading that 10th verse of chapter 41. Now listen to the words. Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my victorious right hand. Do you believe it? I do. So let's have a great day today, knowing that we never walk alone. Yes, Christian, you have a lot to be thankful for. I hope with you what I told you to last week, write them blessings down. I did it. And it was a blessing for me to do that. So we're not alone. We are truly a blessed people. Thanks be to God.